Max Verstappen lost another likely Nordschleife victory on Sunday, on a weekend overshadowed by the tragic passing of Juha Mettinen in Saturday's race. The Nurburgring 24-hour qualifier's title is something of a misnomer because most drivers, including Verstappen and his teammate Lucas Auer, didn't need to do it to qualify for the Nurburgring 24 hours itself. Teams could book themselves an early place in the pole position shootout for the 24-hour race, but this weekend's two 4-hour races were more about preparation for the main event than qualifying for it. They were still set to be highly competitive races though, as they were also the 4th and 5th rounds in the NLS series, featuring a stacked field of competitors including Verstappen and his former Formula 3 rival Auer, who shared the Red Bull liveried Team Verstappen Mercedes-AMG GT3 car run by Winward Racing. But all that paled into complete insignificance on Saturday when Juha Mettinen lost his life following a 7-car incident around 25 minutes into the first race. Simon Patterson explains how that changed the atmosphere on the ground at the Nürburgring.
I think it's probably fair to say that today in the paddock here, the Nürburgring has been quite subdued, really. Yesterday felt exciting. It felt like there was a lot of anticipation about what was to come. With Max Verstappen here with this big draw from the event, and then once kind of became aware yesterday afternoon, the tragic circumstances of the race and what happened to Juha in the race. It changed the mood, as it always does. My background is the Isle of Man TT. I'm no stranger to this sort of event in the paddock, and you can sense that mood change, and it very much did here today. But there is also that sense of, that unfortunately, whatever way you want to say it in racing, the show must go on. And that's what happened today. It did so, I think, in a respectful manner. It was nice to see no champagne on the podium. It was nice that we had a very emotional minute silence in the grid at the start of the race that everyone respected beautifully, really. That kind of reminded us that motorsport is dangerous, like it says in the back of every pass that everyone has issued in this sport. It is dangerous and bad things can happen, but we keep racing, we keep going on because it's a shared love, and I think the paddock honoured that today by racing on, putting on a good show and delivering essentially, I think, what Juha, I hope, would have wanted to happen today even after what happened yesterday.
After the abandonment of the Saturday race, the racing resumed on Sunday, with Auer qualifying the Team Verstappen entry 5th. Verstappen started the car and wasted little time in progressing. He quickly claimed 4th as he took advantage of the number 23 BMW going wide, driving around the outside of it out of turn 1. Next up, Verstappen breezed past the number 911 Porsche in the hands of 2023 DTM champion Thomas Prenning to move into 3rd. Verstappen took advantage of traffic to pull off a stunning move on the pole-sitting Ferrari, and he was into the lead within half an hour, passing the Audi of Christopher Hasse, with whom Verstappen battled hard in his last Nürburgring outing too. Hasse didn't let Verstappen bolt clear and kept on his tail, and was briefly involved in an audacious scrap through the tear guard section, before Verstappen made his first pit stop at the end of lap 5. But once Hasse pitted a lap later, Verstappen grew his lead to almost 30 seconds. He was going to lose some of that advantage later due to a shorter stint, but Verstappen looked comfortable. However, that all went awry as Verstappen came in for his second pit stop, and his team rolled his Mercedes back into the garage. Verstappen hopped out and swapped places with Auer, but the car didn't go anywhere fast as his team frantically worked on damage at the front end of the Mercedes. It was reported to be a front splitter defect at the time, and it appeared to be the splitter rattling that prompted Verstappen to pit. Verstappen had been suffering vibrations at the end of the straights. The exact cause though remained a mystery, as there wasn't any evidence Verstappen hit anything, although he had been taking some aggressive lines through the undulating turns, so it's possible it was picked up touching a curb. Simon Patterson saw that frantic work in the garage taking place right in front of him.
So a second kind of inauspicious end to a Sunday here at the Nürburgring for Max Verstappen out of 2 attempts. This is the second time that it's gone wrong for him. We're still not entirely sure of exactly what happened, and I don't know if we ever will be, how much detail the team are going to give away, but it seems like something went wrong with the front splitter in the car. Max immediately felt a vibration and pulled it into the pits. I was able to run down the pit lane and watch the team basically take the whole nose off the car, the floor out of the front of it, replace all those components, reinstall them. And while it's laudable that they did all that work to get back on track, it was obvious as we were watching them, how much work was involved, that it was going to basically mean that the chance for what looked up to that point like a fairly bolted on race one was done and gone, because there was no way that that was going to be recoverable. They spent a long time sitting in the pits to make that happen. Good effort from the team to make it work. Shame it didn't. But at the end of the day, the focus for Verstappen, the reason for being here, is what happens in 3 weeks' time whenever we come back for the 24-hour race. That's the one he really wants to win. And as always in endurance racing, all the things in the meantime are lessons learned.
Whatever the exact cause, it torpedoed Verstappen and Auer's chances of victory as they fell 3 laps behind, while Auer sat in the garage for around half an hour. When Auer emerged, he came out in 87th place, 86 places dropped. Auer drove well to recover half of those places and end the race 39th. He gained some valuable experience as he hadn't raced on the Nordschleife this year. Victory instead went the way of Hasse and his number 16 Audi teammates Alexander Sims and Ben Green. But for Verstappen, it continued a painful run of lost Nurburgring victories in 2026, having been disqualified from a comfortable NLS2 victory in March due to exceeding the tyre allowance. The one positive is that Verstappen completed 90 minutes of running on the Nordschleife, more solid preparation for the main event in May. He and his team, as they did in NLS2, have proven they have the pace to challenge for victory in the 24-hour race. Having said that, Verstappen did miss out on achieving one important pre-weekend objective. Next up for Verstappen is the big one, the Nürburgring 24 hours on May 16th, but he's still lacking one crucial bit of preparation for it, driving the Nordschleife in the dark. Yes, Verstappen has countless F1 experience driving at night, be it in Bahrain, Qatar or Singapore, but the Nordschleife by night is a completely different challenge. While every inch of an F1 track is lit up by over 1,000 floodlights at night, drivers are reliant on the headlights for lighting up much of the 25 kilometers of the Nordschleife. Part of the logic in Verstappen entering this Nordschleife weekend was to get experience of driving at night, with Saturday's race scheduled to finish in the dark. But with the understandable abandonment of this Saturday race before Verstappen could drive, it means he's still lacking that nighttime experience. It might leave Verstappen with just one proper chance to test out the Nordschleife in the dark, as the second qualifying session for the Nürburgring 24 hours takes place on the Thursday night before the race. As ever, Verstappen can get his practice on the simulator, but nothing can fully prepare you for the real-world challenge of navigating one of the world's toughest circuits with only the glow of your headlights, advertising boards, and the phones of onlooking spectators. Of course, before his much anticipated Nürburgring 24 hours debut, Verstappen has the small matter of his day job to go back to with F1's Miami Grand Prix in 2 weeks. Even with the disappointment of losing the potential victory, Verstappen said, "I did have fun today, the car felt good, I'm happy with that." How long has it been since we've heard him say that about an F1 race? And given how little enjoyment F1 has been giving him this year, so little that he's weighing up whether to walk away from it, you wouldn't blame Verstappen for spending much of the next month dreaming of the ultimate Nordschleife challenge that's now only 4 weeks away.